I really feel as women, we were bamboozled. Like, we were tricked. They didn't teach us the real. We've been fucking set up. I have a bone to pick and I don't know who to pick it with. My opinion is that women, we have been conditioned to be dependent on the idea of a man emotionally. And I really feel some type of way about that, right? Because we think we're on a healing journey. We're really just on a detox journey. We're on an unlearning journey. We're trying to get out of our system, not even the guys. You know what's so crazy, right? So I'm up here, I'm thinking about the guys of my past, my recent past, and past. And it's not even really so much the guys, because if it was really the guys, how is it that we're able to move on and be so happy with another one? Right? Think about it. Like, if something was so very special, then how is it that we can find that same special energy with someone else? So is it really the guys that we're crying over? I remember my grandmother asked me one time when I was a teenager, is it the guy that you are sad about, or is it the feeling? Like, is it him? Or is it the feeling? And, you know, at 34, I'm really starting to kind of like piece all these things together. I really feel as women, we were bamboozled. Like, we were tricked into being emotionally dependent on a man. Right? Like, there's so much spiritual freedom that comes with not being tied to a man in a negative way. Like, there's so much spiritual freedom that you receive from like having your emotional intelligence intact. But it's almost as if they want it not intact. Like, think about it. From when we're young, they're putting on television like this idea of like, there's a man that's gonna save us, right? All in the cartoons, all in the fairy tales. Like, there's this man, this male energy, this masculine energy that's supposed to save you. And then once they come save you, it's like everything is just great after that, right? It's almost as if you're not whole or you're not complete until the man comes in and saves you, right? And I think that there is some truth to understanding that, yes, like a masculine energy does complete the feminine energy. And so my thing is, why haven't they taught us from young a healthy way to manage these feelings? We've been fucking set up. We've been set up. Like, I'm watching Sex and the City, and I had a rough fucking day, okay, y'all? Like, I had a rough day. And I'm watching Sex and the City, and it's just like, why is it like this pursuit of the male energy? Why is it so strong in us as women? That's a television show, but it represents something so very real that we see every single day. And that is why breaking up is so hard to do, because it's like, it's a drug. Like, it's a drug that we've been forced to take. Like, we didn't even want the drug. They put it in front of us and we had to consume it unwillingly, like against our own will, and then we craved it. So they showed us this idea of, you know, male and female forever, for years, until it was programmed in our motherfucking brains. And then, like, it's almost as if it's a game that we really kind of got sucked into, and then had to learn the reality of the game, because they didn't teach us the real. They taught us the version that would keep us dependent and keep the male happy. Like, yo, it gets so deep. It's a fucking setup. So you spend all of your adult years trying to understand, unlearn, and kind of like gain a new sense of emotional intelligence, all because someone conditioned you to think a certain way to begin with. That's not fucked up. Yo, like, it's crazy. I'm sorry if y'all hear stuff in the background. This is just the good old New York City, Bronx, New York. But yeah, like, that's not crazy. We legit, as women, be losing our noodles sometimes. You know, we be crashing out sometimes. We be desperate sometimes. We be so strung out, so sad, literally like a drug. You know how people be on drugs? And then you try to get them off the drug? That is what a breakup is. That is what a bad breakup is. Try taking a drug away from a drug addict and see how they respond. And tell me if that matches how a woman would respond to being either broken up with or going through some type of traumatic breakup. Those two energies don't look the same. And I think something is extremely wrong with that. I think, like, it is very irresponsible, but it's a trick bag. So I guess it would be irresponsible. But, like, I feel like it's our responsibility, now that we understand what is really going on, to teach the future generation how to have emotional intelligence. You know, because it makes me upset sometimes to see how I have to act and react to certain circumstances. It makes me disgusted with myself that I have to move in a certain type of way just because my feelings are hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, as opposed to knowing how to move so that you don't get your feelings hurt. Or that if you do get your feelings hurt, it's not a crash out session. It's our responsibility to put the women of the future in a position to not have to crash out. And what does that mean? That means teaching them beforehand the reality of life and relationships, or teaching them that people can go and come and do as they please. So don't take that as a shock. Don't take it personal. You know, making sure that our daughters have financial stability so that they're not dependent on someone. Have emotional stability so that they're not dependent on someone. Teaching her how to love herself deeply. Because I won't lie, like that has been my struggle. You know, I had a relationship with my father growing up, but it was not an emotionally available relationship. We never talked about men, you know, or boys. We never had that type of relationship. You know how some dads be teaching their daughters the game? Like, look, this is guys, this is what they're gonna do. I've never had that. You know, and I've never really had like an older brother to teach me those things, like really day to day teach me, like, you know. So you go out in the world blind to a game that you could have avoided, you know. And sometimes you don't even have to participate in the game if you don't want to. And if you are going to participate, you need to be fully equipped. And like I said, being equipped is having your own sense of self, your own sense of self-worth, knowing your sense of self-worth so that when somebody does something that you don't like the first time, or does something that doesn't align with your boundaries the first time, you are strong enough and you love yourself enough and you are in a position to say, you know what? My boundaries are not honored. I can disconnect from this situation and not feel no type of way about it. But again, growing up out of fucking survival, it's like jumping out of the frying pan into the fire. Like, it's just like one hell to the next until you break the fucking cycle. But okay. I'm about to go back, y'all, to watching Sex and the City because I don't know. This is just something that it just came across my medulla. So yeah, they did their big one. You know, tricking women. They did their big one. And as a certified lover girl, I think it is imperative that we teach our baby girls, because I don't want them to feel how I see some of my sisters feel. We got to take the wool from the women's eyes and kind of like protect the girls from getting the wool pulled over their eyes to begin with. And do it without being mean or nasty or hateful towards men, because we don't have to be those things to tell the truth. And be smart and be mindful of yourself and protect yourself, you know. But I'm going to go back to eating my chocolates. And I'm going to go back to watching Sex and the City. So until next time, bye.